Continuing coverage of President Biden addressing the nation on the war in Ukraine, saying the United States will continue to organize humanitarian aid for refugees fleeing the violence and announcing additional military help for Ukraine. Joining us now, top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Michael McCaul of Texas. Mike, good to see you. First of all, your reaction to Biden.
Well, I'm glad he signed our package that we sent to him that provides $3 billion in lethal military assistance and also over $4 billion in humanitarian assistance. You know, I've been saying since last November that we need these weapons in sooner, but we are where we are. And President Zelenskyy gave a very compelling, powerful speech today, almost like the Winston Churchill of our time, showed a video of Ukraine before the invasion, where it was a beautiful country, beautiful cities, and after the invasion, where you're seeing this devastation in maternity hospitals being bombed, something only reminiscent of Nazi Germany, in my judgment. So what Zelenskyy needs are these lethal drones, these S-300 anti-aircraft batteries. And I was in Poland last weekend with our 82nd Airborne, watching this operation where we're moving the weapons in country, which is so important right now, because that's what they need to defend themselves, and they put up such a great fight.
And not only do they need new assistance like these anti-aircraft and anti-armor system, Congressman, but as you well know, the president is heading to Brussels next week. He also needs NATO allies. We all need the NATO allies right now to get on board and support what the president is doing. So what exactly does the president need to say to get more of NATO allies on board to help in this fight and provide weapons, support, whatever the needs are?
Well, nobody's unified NATO better than Mr. Putin. In fact, I've never seen NATO this unified. And I can tell you, we're working with our coalition forces, our allies, to get these weapons in country and encouraging those countries. I can't get into specifics, but they are going to be sending, in my judgment, this lethal aid. You know, as well, we help back order for them. So I believe you're going to see a united front on this. But, you know, time is of the essence here. They're surrounding Kyiv in the Ring of Steel, and they're going to start trying to take over the city probably in the next couple of days. It's very important we get the weapons to them now. And just finally, Kira, I mean, you know, the eyes of the world are watching. He said, the president, you're the leader of the world. You're the leader of peace. And history will judge us by our actions. What did we do after the bombing started? What did we do to stop the bombing in Ukraine? What did we do to stop this humanitarian crisis?
You know, you talk about President Zelenskyy's speech to all of you today. From what I understand, you couldn't even hear a pin drop in that room, Congressman, especially when he showed that video invoking 9/11 and Pearl Harbor and just pressing you with these parallels to the violence and destruction and death that you're seeing in Ukraine. And then he made a very passionate plea to all of you. Let's take a listen.
Is this a lot to ask for, to create a no-fly zone over Ukraine to save people? Is this too much to ask? Humanitarian no-fly zone, something that that Russia would not be able to terrorize our free cities.
Is it too much to ask?
I don't think so. I think we should be giving him everything he needs. Now, the no-fly zone would create a direct conflict between NATO and Russia, and it would put us into World War III. And that's something I don't think anybody really wants right now. But we can give them the weapons to create the no-fly zone, and that would be the S-300 anti-aircraft. The Stingers can hit helicopters, but the S-300 can hit the planes in the sky, the Air Force of Russia that are bombing these hospitals and destroying their way of life. I think it was so compelling, Kira, that I've never seen members of Congress, and some you would never imagine, be tearing up, really in tears over what they saw. And the only comparison I have is my father's war, World War II, when Hitler invaded Poland, and that's what I saw at the border of Poland and Ukraine. It's the biggest invasion since that time, and I believe that there were so many parallels that we have to we have to act now to defend them.
So let me follow up on something you just said. You would right now be in support of a no-fly zone.
No, I think a no-fly zone, again, would create a collision between NATO aircraft and Russian, which would then lead us into World War III. And that's something we're trying not to escalate to. But I believe that the weapons that are finally getting to them, that we probably should have given to them before the invasion.
Congressman, let me ask you then. Let me just ask you, because Senator Lindsey Graham came forward and said, if indeed Putin were to use chemical weapons, then we should absolutely supply the no-fly zone. Do you support that? Is that what it would take in order to make that decision?
Well, you just raised an excellent point, and that is, where are our red lines? I'm not hearing the president talk about red lines, and that would be, what if, as we are predicting in some of the briefings I'm getting, they're a little bit frightening. What happens if Putin does use chemical weapons? He's already doing this false flag operation with the biolabs in Ukraine. What if he uses chemical weapons? What if he uses short range tactical nukes? It seems to me at that point, weapons of mass destruction cross the line, the red line, and that's a whole nother issue that we're going to have to really think about, and think about soon, because I think the chemical weapons very likely could happen.
Finally, with that said, you're already looking into war crimes. Your committee has been going through the evidence I see. So far, have you found enough to hold him accountable?
Yes. I mean, he's already in violation of the Geneva Convention, bombing a maternity hospital, bombing refugees on their way out of country. Just the most horrible images that we see every day. But if he uses chemical weapons, to me, that makes the case very airtight. And I think we should call upon the General Assembly at the UN to start the process towards an indictment. Putin wants to be remembered as the president who reclaimed the glory of the old empire. But in reality, he's going to be remembered as a war criminal. And I think that will deeply impact his psyche and those around him as well.
Congressman Mike McCaul, sure appreciate your time today, and I definitely want to follow up for sure with regard to the war crimes. It's something we want to stay on top of as we move forward. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Kira.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.